Thank you so much for having me today. I hope that you are enjoying the show with, enjoying the Houston Gem and Mineral Society events. Obviously it sounds like it's a great event that's been going all day today. A little different since we're remote, but it's going to be good nonetheless. So my name is Kat McFadden. As Scott said, I am the owner and operator of Ouros Gems. And what I'd like to do with you for the next 20 or so minutes is introduce myself a little bit about who I am and what I do. This is my first time as a vendor for the Houston Gem and Mineral Society. And then I'm going to change gears here. I'm going to move over to my table behind me, and I'm going to show you probably about 7 to 10 items, depending on how much time we have, of various necklaces and earrings and pendants that I have in my stock. Of course, you can find all of these items and more on my website, which is ourosgems.com. That's O-U-R-O-S gems.com. And of course, if you are seeking something a little different that you don't find on there, I also do custom design. And so you can always reach out to me either via email at ourosgems@gmail.com, through my Instagram page, my Facebook, or feel free to give me a call as well. All that information is actually on the on the Houston Gem Mineral Society.org site. And yeah, so with that, we'll go with it. So as I said, I am a small jeweler here in the Houston area. I'm actually a geologist by background, and I've had a very long love affair with gemstones back from when I was an undergrad in geology in Arizona. And over the years, I've just sort of cultivated that love, and I started a small business here in Houston that centers around really trying to find unique gemstones and pairing them with in gold and silver, with pearls, with other gems. And I have a very wide variety of different stones that I work with. And so what you're going to see is everything that I carry in my stock is all natural stones. I am very selective on the type of stones that I pick. For necklaces, whether they're pearls or gem strands, I string them myself. And then for my higher end fine jewelry, I work with bench jewelers here in the Houston area to go from design work, which I design and draw up and select the stones, and then I work with the bench jewelers to complete the manufacturing and the finishing of those pieces. So as I said, I have a love for this sort of thing. I've been actually going to the Houston Gem and Mineral Society show for quite a long time. I love all of the different types of rock and minerals and cut stones, like that you can find there. And yes, so what I'd like to do then is kind of switch gears here and move over to my table. As I said, I'll be showing you probably about 7 to 10 different pieces in my stock. And as we go through this, feel free, if you have questions, to put them in the chat box. We'll come back and address that at the end. And if you ever have any questions about what I have, or you have more interest in what I have, feel free to contact me. So with that, I'm going to just here move my camera. And let me see if I can switch out the facing of the camera. So if you get a little dizzy here, excuse my movement. Right. So I'm going to start with. I'm going to start with some pearls. So for those of you in the community who like kind of big necklaces, this is a really great piece that I'm going to show up here. These are some nice Baroque freshwater pearls, and what they are paired with are with these faceted green Saporite gems. So Saporites are a form of garnet, and garnets, like many gemstones, come in all colors of the rainbow. And what's neat about the Saporite garnet is that it has a really unique kind of neon greenish color that's a bit rare in the garnet family. And when paired with something like this, where it's more of a silvery color pearl, it really kind of shines. Now on my website, I have this particular pair. This is about a 20-inch strand, and it's set in sterling silver. It has a nice big hooping clasp here. I have another set or strand on my site as well that's paired with the same type of Saporites, but with sort of these large white button pearls as well. So as I said, this is a really nice piece if you want something that's going to be kind of bigger and a little more glamorous in terms of wearing it with some style. I'll put that down. The next piece I'm going to show is a gem strand. It's also a set in or strung with sterling silver beads and sterling silver findings. And it is a necklace that is a purple tanzanite paired with an Oregon sunstone. And what I really like about this piece is just how you get all the scintillation within the Oregon sunstone. Hopefully, as I bring it towards the camera, it's in focus. But you can sort of see all those little flecks from the inclusions within the sunstone. And it gives a nice vibrant color when paired with this purple colored tanzanite. And you can see that there's these little sterling silver beads. A lot of what I like to do with gem strands like this is be able to mix the color as opposed to just using it in a sort of just a strand of tanzanite or just a strand of sunstone. By putting it in two different colors like this, it's great to match with multiple types of outfits that you might have, or if you just want to have a spark of color around your neck, it's another really great type of design, and it matches with pretty much anything. So let me show this next piece. I took a quick gander at my site this morning just to kind of see what folks were looking at. And I found that this particular piece caught a lot of interest. I've been getting a lot of views on this particular piece. And if you go to my site, this is called, I actually have two of these necklaces, and it's a Freshwater Pearl and a Jaspalite necklace. And Jaspalite is it's just a fancier word for banded iron formation. And for those who don't know, banded iron formation is a type of mineral that is basically these iron oxides that are deposited with quartz. And they're really neat because back in Earth history, they were deposited at a time when oxygenation in the atmosphere and the oceans was just starting to get a little bit more dominant in the atmosphere. And so it deposited out in these really neat looking sort of banded, which is why they're called banded iron formations, but they're banded iron and quartz sort of units. And it turns out that much of our iron actually comes from these sorts of deposits out of Australia and North America. But in those deposits that you find in Australia and North America, usually they are kind of more of a reddish color, kind of a deep red or brown. And what's cool about this Jaspalite from Poland is it has more of those golden colors to that. So you can see the sort of banded nature between this dark brown and the gold. And it gives kind of a nice layering effect that's really quite golden and unique by comparison to other banded iron formations around the world. These are paired with pearls, freshwater pearls, and they're strung in 14 karat gold with 14 karat gold findings. As you can see here, this nice pearl clasp. So if you're interested in this one, this particular one is 20 inches long, and I have another one just like it that's 18 inches long. Both are on my website. And if you missed my earlier my early introduction, my website is at ourosgems.com. That's OUROS gems.com. And you can find that information on the Houston Gem and Mineral Society .org site as well, where my vendor is listed. For those of you who are interested in opals, I actually have a really nice distribution of different kinds of opals that range from Ethiopian to Australian to this particular strand here, which is kind of a mix of 5 different kinds of opals. And for those who don't know, opals can actually come in a wide range of different colors. In this particular case, you're looking at purple, we have green here, blue, you have sort of this golden color, this reddish color, and it's designed in an ombre set. And these opals come from Nigeria, Mexico, Peru, and Australia, and Ethiopia to give this kind of vibrant set of colors. Now, opals are actually quite interesting because you can either have 2 different kinds of opals, either a sedimentary opal or a volcanic type of opal. Most of these opals are volcanic in nature, and it's the interaction between the really hot fluids and ashes and clays that kind of give it this range of color that's really unique. And a lot of folks think when they think of opals, they think of Mexican opals, which give more of this reddish color, or like the Welo opals in Ethiopia, which are more yellowish here, or the more like the black opals or the really bright, vibrant Australian opals. But it turns out you can find opals in many, many places all over the world. And these particular places are really unique. So for this particular pendant, or strand rather, this is an 18-inch necklace. It actually has these nice little 14 karat gold slider beads in between each of the stacks. And it's, again, strung in 14 karat gold with a 14 karat gold clasp. Opals are actually one of my favorite things to design with because you can get so many colors splayed out of them. They're really, really pretty in natural lighting. And a really great example is this piece. This is actually an Ethiopian black opal and white opal pair strung together. So hopefully here I'm going to zoom it in and you can see a little bit more closely the splays of green and blue and black. This is actually Ethiopian, not Australian. And paired with it are these little white tiny like seed beads almost, but these are faceted white opal, also Ethiopian, and they're faceted. So you get a little bit of added sparkle within the necklace. And the way that it's paired together kind of gives a nice, you get a nice kind of rich set of colors up front. And it almost looks like an invisible line when you wear it on your neck out, along the back side of the neck. It is strung again on 14 karat gold, and they have these really cute faceted tiny gold 14 karat gold beads. Kind of bring this up a little bit further, and nice 14 karat gold findings as well. So like I said, opals are one of my favorite things to string with because you can find all these different kinds of opals. You're not just limited to one kind of color or one kind of sort of deposit. And every type of opal actually has its own unique story, which gives it kind of a nice kind of conversation piece when people notice it around your neck. So the last necklace I'm going to show, and then I'm going to move on to a couple of pendants, is another small dainty piece. If you're interested in like sapphires or even diamond pieces, I have this nice little necklace here. It's a really nice dainty little piece of small seed pearls, and strung with it are these little teardrop shaped sapphires. The nice thing about sapphires, like many gemstones that are colored gemstones, is they come in an array of colors. And so you can see here, these are purple. I have a green one. This is a little orange or yellow color. I have a little pink one over here. And this is just really nice and delicate and dainty. It's nice if you want to wear something that isn't too large or bulky around your neck, but it goes with just about anything because of the color combination on the necklace. And if I zoom in on here, you can see kind of the vibrancy of those colors. This one's actually strung in a sterling silver, and it's 16 inches. I have another one with a slightly paler set of sapphires that are 18 inches online as well. So I'm going to switch gears here, and I'm going to talk about some pendants that I have. All of these pendants are in white gold and yellow gold. And what I like about the design of some of these pendants is that you can really be quite creative with the pieces that you find. And I like to work with natural stones, whether there are fresh cut faces, where they're kind of uncut, the natural unfaceted face or cleavage of a stone, or working with a nice high polish of a stone where you can see some inclusions on the inside. As a geologist, I've always been fascinated by some of that. And so this particular piece that I'm going to start out with is a golden topaz, sort of natural golden topaz. You can see here the natural facing of the stone and with sort of the natural raw face of the stone here. It's been wire wrapped in 14 karat gold, and it's been paired with a cinnamon zircon. Just kind of gives a really nice golden color. And this is a really nice statement piece if you wanted to have a piece that really stood out as a conversation starter. I found this stone here in Tucson several years ago, and I just fell in love with the idea of setting it kind of at an angle so you could see both the kind of the natural face down the axis of the stone, but then also get the natural sides of the stone, like it's just being held by the gold. So I worked with I drew this up as a design, and then I worked with a wire wrapper to help me make the final piece. And like I said, if you have a piece or if you have a stone of interest, or if you're looking for a type of stone and you would like to have it set and you're not really sure how you want to have it set, I can always custom design something from drawing to finish. I'm really quite eager to be able to design different types of and styles that are kind of unique to an individual. So whether you have a stone or you're looking for a stone, feel free to reach out to me and we can work together to create that perfect piece for you. This is another necklace. This is a quartz, kind of a window quartz piece. So it's very, very high polished all around the sides. And what you're looking at in the middle of that is a nice mica inclusion, which has some really great detailing to it and really great visibility through that high polish. And again, it's just a very simple piece. It's actually a hammered 14 karat gold bail. So it's a nice large bail, so you can fit it on any type of necklace that you would like, whether that's a cord or an omega or a thick chain. It's really kind of nice and kind of rugged or kind of a semi-gloss finish there, and a really great statement piece to kind of wear around your neck on a nice holiday party, or if you're at work and you want to have something that's kind of a statement piece to show. This final piece that I'm going to show you is one of my favorite pieces. As a geologist, it's one of my favorite pieces, and actually even more interesting because I work in the oil and gas industry. And this particular piece, if you've ever heard of it, is a Herkimer, or sort of a doubly terminated quartz piece. And if you look very carefully on the inside of it here, there are these little tiny inclusions, and these inclusions kind of come off as a yellow color or golden color. You might see a little bit of black in there. And if you look even more closely, like under a hand lens, you'll actually see that some of those inclusions have little bubbles in them. And what's cool about this yellow that you're seeing is actually petroleum. And so it's an oil, actually it's a condensate that was included inside this doubly terminated quartz. There's only one place in the world that this type of quartz is found, and that's in Pakistan. And it's a kind of a doubly rare type of piece because it, as quartz, just being a Herkimer quartz, it's under special sort of hydrothermal conditions where you can get the quartz to be terminated in such a way you have enough room in the fluids to be able to create kind of that perfect euhedral quartz. But then it happened during a time when you have these hydrocarbons that are moving through the fluid with these quartz, and they're getting trapped into these bubbles within the quartz crystal. And when you look at the different kind of colors that are in there, it's actually triply cool because there's 3 different kinds of hydrocarbons that are present. There's the black stuff, which is actually the immovable bitumen, which is just sort of the leftover organic material that doesn't really move anywhere in the rock. That condensate that I mentioned, which is that pale kind of yellow color. And then if you look really closely under a hand lens, there's these little bubbles of methane gas. And so you actually see multiple phases of this fluid that end up getting trapped within this quartz. It's a really, really neat piece for a geologist out there who's interested in something that's very different. This particular piece has been wire wrapped in 14 karat white gold. It's one of my favorite pieces. Just something a little bit different. So with that, let me just turn it back to myself. These are the pieces that I had on show today. And perhaps if there's any questions, maybe I can take it back to Scott and you can let me know if there's any comments or questions or thoughts in the chat channel. I moved through that pretty briskly, so I want to see if there's any thoughts. Sure. Yeah, so just as Scott said, just as a reiteration, my name is Kat McFadden, or Kathleen McFadden. You could reach me in a number of different ways. The website is, or the Houston General Mineral Society has all of my information as well. But you can either go to my website, which is Ouros Gems. That's OUROS gems.com. And that is a direct link actually to all of my items where you can do a direct purchase there. I also have an Instagram under Ouros Gems, and I have a Facebook as well as under called for Ouros Gems that you can reach me through. And of course, you can always reach me through my email. That is ourosgems@gmail.com. Those are probably the best ways to reach out. For those who are in the Houston area who are seeing this and are interested in anything, and they're like, well, I really would like to see something a little bit up close, or maybe I'd like to have more chance to chat with you about a particular thing I'd like to design. I'm happy to set up, a COVID recognizing social distancing etiquette and that sort of thing, but I'm happy to set up an appointment and chat with you as well. So you can reach me through all those avenues. And if you're ever interested in some of the geology, like Scott was saying, that's one of the things I absolutely love about these things, is that every piece has a little bit of a story. So feel free to reach out, and I look forward to having a discussion with you.